Hello everybody and welcome back to Kade Plays Hellish Quart this Sword Sunday, and today we are gonna jump into History Cards mode, which I note has been renamed from History Buff, because I don't have a specific idea of what I wanted to do in this this video. I'm kind of scrambling right now to get recordings done. This weekend, the back half of this week and the weekend have been absolute insanity. I've had to travel across the state a lot, and had to do a lot of difficult things. There's a bit of a situation currently occurring that I'm trying to deal with, and that's just been taking up a lot of my time and energy. I finished Rise of the Tomb Raider in the week just past, which was a really cool experience, so that's left a little bit of a hole in the schedule as well, though I do have an idea of something interesting to fill it with. So if you are one of the people who was watching the Tomb Raider series, for a start, we still have Shadow of the Tomb Raider left, but in addition to that, I do have something else that's going to come up in the meantime. Oh, my hand was just violently severed from my body. Alright, 2-2. Let's see if we can clutch this win. Ooh, little step back. You didn't clutch the win. I just really wanted to hit that sidestep low right, because for some reason I locked onto that move and was like, this is what I want to hit. But then he hit me with that James Harden step back and just gutted me for it. Also, I'm still just a little bit sick. I've been like a bit sick for like a really long time. Okay, that looked like my hit landed first, so I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. All right, you know what? We're gonna gut stab him. I told you what I was gonna do. Just putting out his finger, just telling him off. You should have known better. Alright, now let's do something really good. Like getting the double? Hell yeah. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. I didn't want to win, I wanted to double. That was my intention the entire time. Yeah, I don't know. I've just been having a bit of the sick for a while. I would have sworn I was gonna hit him first. I cannot play Tarnowski, dude. Yeah, I've been having a little bit of the sick for a while, and it just the last little bit of it seems to be being kind of difficult to shake. But it is what it is. I will get better in time. Now, Samuel, I know one of the comments I had on last week's or the week before's episode was that I should try a Samuel run. I will probably do that. I just want to do it next week. I'm just a little bit out of it, and I feel like I put probably a really poor effort in. Like, as you can see, I'm definitely not on the top of my game, but I'm not too worried about it in History Cards mode, because there's no stakes. So I just needed to... I wanted to put an episode out and have something for y'all to watch, but at the same time, I didn't want to put too much on myself right now, because I am definitely... Yeah, how you like that? How you like that? How you like it twice? You want a third one? You want a third one? I feel like you want a third one. There, have a third one. Yeah, it takes a lot of the pressure off of me as far as, like, because I don't want to upload an episode where I'm absolutely terrible in survival mode, like, constantly. I've done it on the odd occasion, and it just doesn't feel good. But I feel like I get kind of a pass on history buff mode if I just want to be terrible, because no one really cares that much. It's history. What? Like, we could all agree that I had her bangs cut off with the I lunged, hit her, and then followed up and whiffed that high right just so barely. Not gonna lie, kind of mad about it. Okay, because I'm trying to bash her blade out of the way, and then immediately follow up. But she just recovers so fast, it's not viable. I got picked apart. I was trying silly stuff, but that's also another thing that I like to do in History Buff as well, or History Cards mode, is it kind of gives me like carte blanche to be a little goofy and like maybe try out some tactics to see if they're kind of viable, you know? And just to see what like different matchups look like, see if a character I wouldn't normally play is not necessarily a character that I intend to pick up, but if by playing them against a matchup I can learn something about that matchup that I didn't know already, that might prove like useful as just general knowledge to then take back to when I'm playing one of my mains, and see if it's applicable there. Alright, we got the double, I find Kalkstein very difficult to play. I really like his style, and I particularly like his sword. Just, I do find him tricky. Oh, that's that backstep high left. That backstep high left, defensive lunge. You can get into it from just about anything. Ow. Come on now. Whoa, that was a lovely little exchange. Oh, he's got like a little Inquortata. That wasn't it. That was a different. That was much lower. I don't know. I suppose you could still. I suppose you could technically still call that some form of Inquortata, because there's an offline sidestep and an associated lunge. Excuse me. Kind of on the fence, fencing aficionados. Your thoughts below. Does that move right that I just finished Laszlo off with right there, would you consider that like a very like loosely executed Inquortata, or would you classify it as something else entirely? As we hear Siendric directly through the neck, which quite frankly feels fantastic. I love wrecking Yendrick. Now that's an Inquortata right there. Oh, stuck the axe in. See, that's a funny thing with the Marta Yendrick matchup, is you cannot let him rush you down. Like it's more crucial than with I think any other character that you control the spacing. Go on, swing it and miss. Swing it and miss. Exactly like I needed you to do. Backstep high right, the most perfect escape tool in the game. There you go, back it up, back it up. I'm gonna control the range here, sir. Oh, Christ! Oh, I thought I was just a little further back. That downswing goes a little bit further than I think it's going to. We take the Dubski, so I don't hate it, but I still do hate Yendrick. He's just such a stupid character. Every other character has the presence of mind to use a sword, and here comes this clown of a shepherd swinging an axe around like a... I was about to say something really offensive, can't say that, but like a fool. Like a gosh darn fool. Yo, I don't know Alexander's attack angles well enough for this. That seems like a good strike that's hitting the right side. Oh, caught the wrist. Alright, that might be a good a good little B&B to rely on. Does he have a high right, high left? Okay, yeah. Okay, the cut combos, because high right is intended to crash into the shield to make him raise the shield up and open more of his body up for the high left that comes in after that. I think that's really solid. Got you again. Same trick. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. So this is like an interesting piece of knowledge, because there are a lot of characters, including ones that I play, that have a high right, high left cut combo. Which until right now I hadn't really thought about as like, yeah, if I swing high right towards their shielded side, it makes them push the shield out to parry the attack. And then if I can just clip my sword off of the shield and then immediately come in uninterrupted with a strike towards the upper left, chances are they're not going to be, their blade is probably not already in motion to any angle that's going to interrupt my strike. And as you saw with Connor right there, even if it is, chances are, because of the lack of downtime in between the two hits, it's probably coming in quicker. I got hit several times and managed to force a double out of that. I just wanted to see if Tarnowski had a high right, high left cut combo, which he does. Which also seems kind of good, too. Like, blow. Another double? Okay, goddamn. I didn't even move my feet. I had my feet firmly, squarely planted to the floor. Rooted to the ground like the mighty oak. Do some. He did. It was a trade, but it was a trade in my favor. Do we gut stab him? I feel like when we're one up, we can try and gut stab him for the memes. Yeah, now you're running. Okay, see, when you do it for the memes, that's the problem. That's when you die. It is an interesting little lunge, though. God, 3 doubles in this matchup already. Tarnowski versus Jacek is it is a bloody battle. I caught him in the neck with the long guard high right. Kind of has that little like swing, pause, stutter step forward, and then the second strike. So it's got like a built-in feint, which I think is really cool. I think that's neat as hell. And it's not often you'll hear me harping on about Tarnowski's moveset in terms of it being a moveset I like, but that is pretty tight. I mean, look, if you're going to try and circle around me, like, if you're going to try and get off my center line, I can move my center line while attacking you. I hope you understand this. Don't do it again. Don't make the same mistake again. Don't be a fool. Kick me in the knee? Oh, you a bitch for that. Alright, Laszlo. Okay. Alright, okay. Inquortata the other way. Inquortata back the other way. Inquortata the other way again. Several Inquortatas. It just, if you Inquortata to both sides alternatingly, she kind of like slowly zigzags towards the opponent until they're backed up in the corner. They can't back up anymore, and then they get stabbed in the face. It's a fun time for me. Not for them. I imagine getting your cranium punctured is probably not super high on their list of things to do today. But you know, it just got expedited. Gotcha, Barabbas. Man, Jan's moveset is very reliable. That I will say. Hit him with the old corkscrew. The old corkscrew. Oh, came in with the lesser used low left. I gotta use low left more. I feel like there's a lot of cases where that could do something really good for me. Alright, so you hit me. Think that makes you cool? Think that makes you a cool guy? It don't. Oh, did you see how that strike landed? And then as his strike was coming in, like the last part, the recovery animation, the blade just like clip parried his blade away. That was a cool little like animation interaction. I like that. It feels good. It feels good. It feels nice. Feels belly nice. All right, how do we deal with a Laszlo? I feel like keeping the shield high is going to be pretty clutch a lot of the time. Yeah, there you go. Just keep the shield up, wait till he hits it, and then immediately riposte while he's in his recovery frames. Hilarity ensues. Try it again. Kick me in the knee, and then backed up. Coward. Alright, alright, alright. You a bitch. Why is the game playing Laszlo well? That bothers me. Not well enough. I think I've got my Marina laugh pretty well down, actually. Blow. Right in the face. What a sniper. And she's gorgeous. So gorgeous. Marina. Hey! It's Hellish Quart, not Hellish Goon. I was telling that to myself. That wasn't for you. Alright. Marie. Oh, just a little poke in the wrist. A little poke in the wrist. Again, with rapiers, controlling the range is so paramount. Gotta control the range. Oh, that little drop tip lunge. Like where she just lets the tip of the saber fall and then pulls it back up into the lunge. That's nasty as hell. Do something. Do something. Do something. Not that. Inquortata. Oh, I went for a sidestep slash. Not typically the strength of Le Rapier, but it is something I think I could mix in a lot more when playing rapiers, because I think slashes are in their arsenal for a reason. And that's one of the big things I notice when I'm getting wrecked by the AI when the AI is playing rapiers, is I sort of have a tendency to assume that everything that's about to happen is going to be lunge related. So when the slash is coming in, it just like blue screens my brain for a second, because I just had no expectation of that happening. Oh, if I'd have forward stepped on that, I'd have got you, boy. Too quick for you. Too damn quick for you. The she-wolf, baby. Like, is Marina a character I should play more? Because I feel like if I were to learn her ways... Like, she's really good. She is. I know she's very... she's got some of the lowest limb HP in the game. Maybe the lowest. But she's a lot of fun. How are you going to push my guard like that and then not capitalize? What you doing? Trying to back me up against the edge of the stage? Wooden post, the true final boss. Look, he's stuck. The spacing. It's all about me. Went right under him. She's quick, too. The interval between the button push and the attack animation actually executing is very short. So as long as you... The problem is she doesn't have crazy range or, to the best of my knowledge, any... I don't know if she has any lunges at all. If she does, she has a fairly short range one, like the Alexander pull short stab. All right, now we get Zera. Ow! Oh, got the double off of the wrist hit. Jacek being an aggressive little punk. Hoers in the background, just neighing away. See him back there, Mr. Hoers? Back it up. Oh, he hit me again. Oh, I thought that was my point. I really thought that was my point. And we only get 2 on this one. Urgh. Back up, Dadinsky. Back up, Dadinsky. He is just completely unafeared of the good father. Gracious me. I wanted to try and chop his knees, and instead I got chopped and died. Oh, with Zera and everything. That's just embarrassing, man. But it just goes to show you. Just goes to show you. You can never like there's never a point where you're playing this game where you should feel like you're fully and completely comfortable. Like it's just got to stay in your mind that you can absolutely just die at any moment off of like any attack by anybody, regardless of who you're playing. There is no truly bad character apart from Yendrik, because he's just stupid. Don't faint like that at me. Whoa, she fell down and then popped back up again and then fell down a second time. Oh, baby. Right through the wrist. Right through the wrist, and that tracking was vicious. I went to Subway earlier. So I'm drinking some Pepsi brand Sprite. I miss when they used to call it Sierra Mist. They call it now Starry. Right in the face. Got his whole gooch out. Tragic. Just needle threaded the lunge directly through the center of his guard. I got hiccups from the soda. Alright, I hold my breath for a minute. That should sort the hiccups out. Bad footing. Oi! Oi! Actually used some Tarnowski tech. What do you know? Turns out I'm occasionally capable. Oh, and then caught her with an upward slash that just hacked her at the wrist. Okay, so it turns out if you use Tarnowski's stances, but while you're in stance, your auto parry is disabled. So it's interesting. You got to be very aware of like what you're doing and when you're choosing to do it. I definitely thought I was going to get a strike in there before she lunged on me. I was highly incorrect about that assertion. But that's okay, because we can still gut stab. He's just swinging that thing around and laughing like, dude, are you hammered? Tarnowski, have you been drinking the water of life, my boy? Have you been sipping the fire water? Are you a little bit inebriated, or whatever the word for drunk is in Polish? I know it's not inebriated, but Polish language is interesting. It's one I've not really looked into, like, at all. Which is funny because whenever I come into contact with a language a lot, I tend to start investigating it because wow, demolished. I tend to start investigating it because I just sort of find the study of languages generally fascinating. Since living in the southern states in America, I've been learning Spanish because it's genuinely just really useful around here to be able to speak Spanish. And that has come up a lot more than I thought it was going to when I started learning, actually. But just because it was a language I came into contact with a lot, and the more I found out about it, the more I was like, oh, that sounds really interesting. I would love to learn. So I started learning. Living in Europe, in the UK, you've got like a lot of countries right there. So when I was in school, I took a little French and I took a little German, which are also some pretty interesting languages. One of the towns that I moved to when I still lived in the UK, this is it's a wild story, but I ended up living in a shared house with 3 other dudes, and they were all Russian. Well, 2 of them were Russian, one guy was Latvian. And, but he spoke Russian. So I had a lot of exposure in that house to Russian, so I started kind of like looking up little bits of Russian and just kind of like, not to say that, like, I cannot speak any Russian, but I've just kind of like looked into the language just very briefly to kind of learn sort of what its idiosyncrasies are, what sort of grammar patterns it follows, and it's because I find that really interesting. Being a big anime guy, obviously a lot of exposure to Japanese language, which I've looked into little bits of that as well. That's a real pretty language. And then just like a bunch of other different ones too. I also like learning about like regional variations of languages. So from learning Spanish, you sort of think like, okay, it's easy to believe or easy to understand that there's like European Spanish, like Spain Spanish, and then there is Central American Spanish, and they're sort of like very notably different. And that doesn't like that's not going to surprise anybody, right? It's like, yeah, that makes sense. But then when you learn how different like the dialects are between like the way Mexicans speak Spanish and then the way like the Spanish speaking Caribbean islands, so like Cuba, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and like that's a whole different thing. And then when you get really, really into it, you start learning even the differences between like the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, even though they're right next to each other and they're a lot more similar to each other than they are close to Mexican Spanish. There's still ways that you can pick out the differences and be like, oh, that's a Puerto Rican speaking Spanish, that's a Dominican speaking Spanish. And then when you get down to like the Central American mainland part, like under Mexico, because then you've also got like Guatemala and Honduras and all those other places like that. But then you go further down and you get like Venezuela and all the places on that sort of coast, and then even down into like Argentina, which is another very different dialect of Spanish, or Peru, which is another really weird dialect of Spanish. It is still Central American Spanish, but it's got such an odd lilt to it. And then you go down to Brazil and everybody's speaking like weird Portuguese, and that's also crazy. So understanding Spanish kind of gets you about 60% of the way there. I just find the way languages spread, and I know a lot of this unfortunately comes from colonialism, which isn't the prettiest topic. But to set that thought aside, because that deserves its own consideration. But purely from a standpoint of linguistics, it's really interesting how languages change as they migrate, and like why the little differences that crop up occur. And so I've always just found the study of languages and like the history of a language's development to be really, really fascinating. And as much as I've run into the Polish language playing this game, I still haven't really looked into Polish. I don't know a whole ton Europe-wise, outside of Spanish, French, German, and by virtue of kind of knowing a little bit of French and German, that kind of covers Belgium as well, depending on which half you're in. Stop being a problem, Hassan. Stop being a problem. You see how the more I backed up, the more he advanced on me, but when I stopped and planted my feet, it's just like, okay, you want to stand and bang? Let's go. Caught him right across the face. That was one of those big, like, down across the face. Like, that's gonna make such a good scar. The chicks are gonna dig it the most, my guy. I am helping Hassan get him some play. Because chicks dig a dude with a big, cool scar. Or so action movies have always taught me. Alright, the Marina supremacy. We're out here. You wanna go? You wanna go? I ain't gonna move. You might wanna. Nah, I ain't gonna be intimidated. I ain't gonna be intimidated. I am the she-wolf Marina. Oh, she's got that right. If you just her neutral high left does like a short moulinette and then she just staggers into a second one. That's quite cool. You know, when the first one doesn't hit and immediately just kill the guy. Which is funny. You love to see it. This is another interesting thing about doing these like history buff episodes is it's kind of getting me wanting to play Marina a lot. That looks really bad when I'm talking about. I don't mean, look, she's. I want to see if maybe it's worth doing more survival modes with survival mode runs with Marina after I'm done doing the runs with Samuel. Don't take any of the other stuff out of context. You wouldn't do that, right? Right. Got him with the little corkscrew. How that was not a kill shot against it? What the hell? Where was my guard? You hoe ass. Where the rest of your hair? Monkey. Alright, I'm not gonna spam it. I promise I'm not gonna spam it. Yeah, cut him in the leg, chopped him in the head. That's a pretty classic little combo. Not technically a true combo, but it lands very, very quickly afterwards. I'll do it again. Oh no, he's ready for it that time. If that hadn't been a trade, I would have had him there too. See, but now he can only do the slow movings, which means he is weak to Monkey Man. Yes. Oh, you love it when the memes are memeing. I know you do. Don't lie to me, boys. I should have hit. Get out. That one did. Got him with the monkey memes again. Happy days. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Oh, my arm is going numb. I had it rested on my desk in a really weird way. So there's like a line you can see, like right here, where I just had it like wedged on the edge of my desk. That's my fault. I made my own It is weird because just my pinky, like just this pinky finger went numb. That's so bizarre. Here, if I turn slightly more this way, it might be better. Alright, Marina versus Isabella. Oh, she's getting gassed because she's going crazy. That's her lunge. It's her forward high right. It's a great approaching tool from a distance like about here. I don't think so. I don't think so, madam. Now Italian, that's an interesting one. My producer studies Italian. And she seems to have a good grasp of it. But she's also natively a fluent Spanish speaker, and from what I understand, that's very helpful because Italian and Spanish are very similar. So there's that. But so I've got somebody I can consult with when it comes to Italian. Blow, right in the dome piece. That's the stab I used to horribly cheese out Armored Samuel at the end of Marina's arcade mode run, if I remember correctly. No, and I got a big old kitty in my lap, and he's a big old fat boy. Fat kitties just make me happy. They're just so chunky, and they look like they're living such a good life. Like skinny, like super skinny kitties, when you see them, they always just look, they look sick or sad, and then it makes me sad. When you see a big fat kitty, you know they're a happy kitty. Oh, that was a really nice little hit. It was the way the strike almost like I just ran the blade up the side of his blade and was able to like catch him in the side of the head with it. That was pretty clean. I quite enjoyed that. I like Isabella. I wish she was a little bit more meta. I don't know what tools I would necessarily give her to bring her a little bit heavier into the meta, or how I would tweak her, but I feel like she's not extremely meta. Alright, forced a double out of it. It's not the worst outcome. What else you got? What else you got? Hassan. Ooh, he's got quick lunges. Alright. You want to do this? Caught you. Caught him. Just the trajectory of the blade was just like right outside of his guard line. Not a lot a man can do about that. Yeah, that's right. I have that little lunge too. Oh, tapped him in his offhand. Ultimately doesn't do us a lot of good, but does allow us to close up and get a little bit more chopping in the skull. The way he swung that saber, just flicking the blood off the blade, because blood will rust a sword blade. Oh, should have caught him with that one. Hey, big swing, whacks him on the wrist. Jacek Didinsky is the victor. And on a beautiful full-color mural of some lads absolutely getting after it, we shall end this episode. Playing this mode today has given me a couple of ideas of things I might actually want to do. And I think that will be interesting going forward. So it may seem like sometimes I just throw history buff episodes out to kind of phone it in for the week, but that is not the case. They actually genuinely throw lots of like wild ideas at me, and I see stuff that I wouldn't normally see because it's like all the characters are getting played. Yeah, that's given me a couple of interesting thoughts. So look forward in the next couple of weeks for some interesting stuff. But we will have to end this one off, and we will do that the way we always do that. If you are a new viewer and you made it all the way to the end of this episode, clearly you like something you see, and if that's the case, leave me a like, comment down below, and subscribe if you want to see more of this and the other content that I bring you on this channel. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and spending your time with me. You fill my heart with the warm, fuzzy feelings, and I love you. Other than that, there is nothing left for me to say except, I have been Kade. This has been Hellish Quart, this Sword Sunday. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.